All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Shalom. This is GMS Precepts, Nazar Khud here. And real quick, I got a few articles to go into. You can see the title here. Black America Before LBJ, right? This is Lyndon B. Johnson. How the welfare state inadvertently helped ruin ruin black communities, right? Getting ahead, it says Black America before LBJ. How the welfare state inadvertently helped ruin black communities. So that's exactly what happened. Now, LBJ, as we, if you know nobody, if you're not aware, he's pretty much the creator of the welfare state of food stamps, um, of the Medicaid system. He created programs, uh, uh, quote unquote, to help black families, but in you know what it really did, it didn't help black families. It didn't help minorities. It actually ruined them. And you can make a strong argument, and I think this article goes into it, that was it done deliberately? I believe so. You know, um, I believe so. But ultimately, this goes into the curses as well, because anything that Esau does, or any nation does at that, whatever any nation does towards the nation Israel, it's something that's allowed by Yahawashi and Yahawashi, right? Um, Let me get this scripture before I go into this article, um, to sort of prove my point in Psalms the 83rd chapter, right? I'm gonna just go, I'll go to I'll start at one, right? Points in three on down. This is Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they hate thee that have lifted up the head. Um, right? And we understand that the enemies are every other nation, right? All the nations are enemies onto the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. If you are not of Israel, if you are not of Yasha Allah, you are an enemy of Israel. You are an enemy of the Most High. Okay? Enemy, if you go into the word enemy, it basically means adversary or adverse. And how are they adverse or an adversary towards the nation of Israel? They don't have the laws, and they're if anything they the laws that they go by contradict and are totally adverse and opposite of ours, right? Let me just curious. If we go into the word enemies, enemies, ayab, ayab, enemy, personal, national, enemy, enemy. There's no idea that. Yeah, pretty much an enemy, Really doesn't go too deep into it. Let me go into the root word. To be hostile to be an enemy to be hostile, to treat as enemy, right? And they've been, and the other nations have been nothing but hostile towards the nation of Israel. Okay. So it says, "Thy enemies make a tumult, and they hate thee that have lifted up the head." Verse 3: They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Excuse me. It says, I read that again. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Thy people, the thy is speaking about the nation of Israel. And it says, have consulted against thy hidden one. So it says they have taken crafty counsel. They have used craftiness. They have used witchcraft. They have used lies. They have used, you know, all manner of things to get over on us, right? Because they understood, and that story is in the Apocrypha, the book and chapter. I can't remember it at the moment, but it's a story of how a ruler looked at the nation of Israel, looked at the Israelites, and said, if we can just get them away, I'm saying it verbatim, if we can just get them away from worshiping the Most High, Yahawah, we can control them, we can take them over, and this is something that's been known throughout history, because if you, everything's recorded, right? If you go into, there are nations and heathens and other nations that knew about the deliverance from Egypt. So these nations know these things, and as well as these other nations know Israel. You know, they knew who they know who the children of God is, and they understand that. Listen, if we just get them away from worshiping the Most High, that's how we can control them. That's how we can take them over. And once we take them over, we can be that top nation. We can be at that top position, and they can be under us. So that's what they've done. All these nations, they have taken what crafty counsel against thy people. They have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have used witchcraft. To take us over, to have us in a certain position, under subjection. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with the one consent. They are confederate against thee, right? And then it goes into the different nations, right? But pretty much that's the point. Let me go back to this article. And that's why, this is why this whole thing with LBJ, and he was also quoted in saying, I'm gonna have niggas vote Democrats, for the next 200 years, because prior to this time, Jake primarily were Republican, um, what's his name, Martin Luther King, Republican, right? It wasn't really a thing for Jake back then to vote Democrat, because this was a Democrat. This dude right here. Anyway, this ain't political show. So yeah, I mean, this is a good read. I'm not gonna read all of this article here, but it goes into how his thing was. It was called the Great Society, which the Great Society, it had things. It had those programs. It had those social programs to sort of. The guise of those programs was to help Jake, was to help our people, was to help the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, help them come out of poverty and give them some form of wealth, right? But it wasn't. There's a good there's a good quote here, and it goes into, so these are the four primary initiatives of the War on Poverty. It was the Economic Opportunity Act, Community Action Programs, Volunteers and Service, blah blah, Job Corps. Oh, that's fucking crazy. It says the Food Stamp Act, right? Some Educational Act of 1964, which it was remixed in 94. American School Act, leaving no child behind, '04. Every student succeeds, 2015. Social Security Act, which created Medicare and Medicaid, right? So all these programs you hear of today, and what's the outcome of it? Where is, like, why are everybody in the same position? It wasn't because it didn't help. It didn't help at all. I'm trying to find this quote, and I'll go to the next article. Yeah, I wanted to read this this quote here. What is it here? Yeah, this whole thing is a pretty good. Here it is. It says the breakdown of that. So the black family, which had survived centuries of slavery and discrimination, began rapidly disintegrating in the liberal welfare state that subsidized unwed pregnancy, right? And this is like a damn epidemic where you have, and I have a chart here. Hopefully, Lord willing, I got that chart here where it goes into the illegitimacy rate, or the um, uh, women being pregnant or children being pregnant in single family households, right? But it was subsidized. It was something that was financially backed, right? Wouldn't that like that's just gonna have the opposite effect. If you're gonna, oh no, well we're doing it to help them out. We're doing this. We're doing these programs to help out people in poverty. So we're gonna give them goodies. No, but all you're gonna do is you're gonna it's like you're promoting it, right? And when you're financially, let me just finish because it goes. So it says began rapidly disintegrating in the liberal welfare state that subsidized unwed pregnancy and changed welfare from an emergency rescue, right? And that's what it was. It was like, look, these women, we got to help these black families. Let's give them some money. Let's give them welfare. Let's put them on welfare. Let's put them on Medicaid, and help them out. So this was an emergency situation. It went from an emergency rescue to a way of life. So, you got women that's mothers that mothers their mother's mother was in welfare. So it's like it's not of any help. It's not of any benefit. This is a good article, man. Like I said, I ain't read through all of it, but this is a good read. I'm gonna leave this in the description. I'm gonna leave this in here. I'm gonna leave that article here. A number of children living with a single mother or single father in the U.S. Now, the light blue is the mother, right? It was right here. Light blue is a mother only. The dark blue is a father only, right? And look at this goes back from the 70s, and this is single mothers, right? This is number of children living with a single mother or a single father from 1970 to 2023. Okay, these are children that were born to mother only and father only, and if you can look at through the years, it goes through 5-year increments. It just increases and increases. 1990, increasing, and it just tapered off a little bit in 2010s, but it's still a problem. It's still a problem, you know. Majority of these people on the sign here are so-called black families, man. You know, black family structure in decline since the 1960s, the home effect. So like I said, I'll leave all these articles in here. Y'all brothers and sisters could check it out. But ultimately, this is something done by Yahawashi, right? Because, um, you know, being in this society or being in the truth, I realize that, we really don't have women because, a good example is the Most High. We were the Most High's woman as a nation, right? And what did we do? We went and served and worshipped and wanted to be like other nations, and we wanted to serve their God. We committed adultery against the Most High. And what do our women do? They committed adultery against us. They're having, if you get what it's common to, find a woman that's in her 30s that has at least one kid already, or multiple kids. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have women, man. Now, of course, the Most High, Yahawashi is going to reserve women for us in that day. But, we don't have women, man. Yeah, so, like I said, I'll leave these articles in the description box. Shalom, when you brothers and sisters were edified. Until the next show, shalom.